Hello. This is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com. Full-time dad, part-time Magic player, lover of all things jank and dragons. And this month I am trying out a mono black taxes build for my Keeping Modern Janky article. The inspiration for this deck is my Scornful Striker, a new card from Avatar. 2 mana 2/2 with first strike. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 life. So I'm thinking, alright, what's the best taxes shell for my Scornful Striker? And it gets me thinking mono black or Orzhov. Well, let's try mono black. Because that mono black allows me to play one of my most favorite and most guilty of all cards, and that is Waste Not. If you're unfamiliar with Waste Not, a lot of text, 2 mana, an enchantment. Whenever an opponent discards a creature, you get a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Whenever they discard a land card, you get 2 black mana. And whenever an opponent discards a non-creature, non-land card, we get to draw a card. I love Waste Not. I have played Waste Not in Standard when it was legal. I've played it in Modern. In another mono black Tiny Bones Waste Not deck, and now I'm trying it again. So, of course, my Scornful Striker to taxes to mono black to Waste Not. That's the logical progression for me. Uh, Comboing with our Waste Not is Dark Deal. 3 mana, each player discards all their cards in their hand, then draws that many cards -1. So that's our big payoff. When we turn 2 Waste Not, turn 3 Dark Deal, hopefully empty their hand of enough mana, enough lands, and enough non-creature spells that we can then get the mana and draw into another Dark Deal and just run it back and do it all again. Yet to live that dream, but that is the dream. So that's our best turn 2, turn 3 play with the Waste Not combo. Otherwise, we have place out of Thoughtseize that can come down early if we need it, or we can save it till after we have the Waste Not down. This Dark Deal, though, really, since it forces our opponent to draw cards, this kind of bridges the gap of our two strategies. One, value for making our opponent discard. 2, value for our opponent drawing cards and for us drawing cards. Where do we see that? Well, Modern All-Stars Orcish Bowmasters punishes our opponent by 1 damage for each card they draw beyond their first in a turn. So if we can Dark Deal for 5 or something like that, they're doing 5 damage. And then Shielder, the real big payoff, anytime we draw a card, we gain 2 life. Another Modern All-Star. And whenever our opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. So if we have a Shieldred out and a Waste Not, and we Dark Deal for 3 or 4, that's a ton of damage, a huge swing. We get a bunch of life. They lose a lot of life, and we get a lot of value out of Waste Not. So that is the dream. Otherwise, it's essentially a mono black mid-range deck that, I don't think it's a tier 1 by any means, but you run into it enough. Fatal Pushes, Thoughtseizes, Delthes, Shieldreds, right? Orcish Bowmasters. This is like a mono black shell from which people build they go in various directions. For us, we're going into the Waste Not discard direction. Another one is the Necrodominance that you've seen, or Mono Black Burn that Saffron Olive popularized. Anyway, a little bit of removal and life gain in March of Retrosard to help counterbalance some of our life loss from things like Thoughtseize or our own My Scornful Striker. Phyrexian Arena also drains us a life, but if we have Shieldred out, we're gaining a life. So anyway, Phyrexian Arena, just a little bit of card draw. Phyrexian Obliterator, another guilty pleasure. Still, it's a great card. I mean, it can really lock down boards, almost as good as like Ensnaring Bridge, to let us just drain our opponent out of the game, and that's how it functions largely. Yeah, there are a lot of solitudes out there, so there are ways of dealing with it. But if our opponent doesn't have flyers or exile effect or anything like that, it can hold down the board while we just drain our opponent. And that is the 60 card main deck. In the sideboard, we have a couple of hate pieces: Toxic Deluge. Sweeper for the go wide strategies. Crypt Incursion gives us some more life gain on top of Graveyard Hate. Force of Despair. It's just gonna be really good in the right spot against a lot of problematic permanents, against graveyard strategies, against the turtle, against go wide strategies that just empty their hand like Affinity. So this could be a really powerful card for us in the right spot. Flare Malice, similar against the Eldrazi. They get one big creature out. We have Flare Malice. Stamping Sphere to fight Tron, Storm, and all the Eldrazi decks. Of course, my Scornful Striker is great against Storm. And that is my mono black Waste Not taxes build. Now, is it the best deck? Is it the best taxes deck, I should say? I mean, maybe. I think there's other builds that can take more advantage of my Scornful Striker. I just have a really hard time resisting the Waste Not Dark Deal lore, the Siren Song, if you will, of these 8 cards that just make me want to play them until I can live the dream. You see over here Go Blank in the side. I have it up here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that. We have a couple flex spots in this build, Phyrexian Arena being one, Phyrexian Obliterator being another, and then March of March of Wretched Sorrow. These are kind of our flex spots. Well, I've gotten a couple Waste Knots down without any discards, so I'm thinking maybe Go Blank can come in for Phyrexian Arena. We could pick a different kill spell, some other kill spells. We could main deck Toxic Deluge, for instance. So there's a couple different routes we could go here. But at the very least, I think I'm going to bring in Go Blank and then a main deck and take out the Phyrexian Arena. I've played a few matches already. The deck's really fun. It's very mid-rangey. You really do need to draw your pieces in order and on time, and then it just hums. You also need to get a little bit lucky, for instance, with the Waste Not Dark Deal. I have executed the turn 2 Waste Not into turn 3 Dark Deal, and I don't want to spoil it, but it was not as impressive as I had hoped. We did not get very lucky in what we hit, even though we drew like 5 cards. We just did not we did not find what we were hoping to find. So we're still looking, we're still chasing that dream. But anyway, it's a mid-range mono black strategy that it's going to struggle against big mana decks, go wide strategies if we can't find our sideboard cards after boarding, if we can't find our combo. But what I think it'll be good against is things like Jeskai Blink, those kind of mid-range decks that are constantly filling up their hands with cards that rarely run out of gas. We can attack their hand for value that way. And we have the tools in the sideboard to answer the go-wide strategies, and answer Affinity, and to answer Eldrazi. So I think it's going to be competitive. We'll find out, though. So let me know in the comments what you think, and thank you for watching. This is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGame.com. Hope this deck brings you a little bit of happiness and joy today, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.